All right, happy Monday, everyone. We've got some Monday night football. Great day yesterday. Just an absolute fantastic day. I think I went up close to 20 units. So beautiful, beautiful day. All right, so we've got 5 NBA games. We're going to talk about each one as usual. But before we do that, guys, subscribe to the channel. We're on an absolute heater. I mean, probably won't last. We'll come back to earth. But man, we have been on an absolute tear. I do feel pretty locked into NBA. I will say, I don't love the slate today. Very small slate. Trying to find value, not super easy. So we'll talk about it. But really just a day to go light, guys. Just take it nice and easy. Tomorrow's going to be a great slate. We don't have to go nuts today. All right, recap yesterday. Sweep in the NBA. We went 4 for 4. Ben Simmons under 6.5 rebounds. Easy. I think he had 2. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 11.5 rebounds and assists. Cashed in the third quarter. Desmond Bane over 8.5 rebounds plus assists. Cashed in the third quarter. Jakob Poeltl over 10.5 rebounds. Oh, this little sweaty. He had 11. So kind of hit that right on the number. In the NFL, we went 2-2. A little disappointing there. Texans and the Jags. Trevor Lawrence got killed practically. So that sucked. They hooked us. It was over 43.5. It finished at 43. Bills -6 versus 49ers. Easy. Sweat free. Nico Collins over 27.5 longest reception. Easy. Cash in the first quarter. Saquon over 17.5 receiving yards. Did not cash. He was targeted 4 times. Love the read. He only caught 2. If he catches 1 more, he goes over that line. So it is what it is. I also gave you guys 2 parlay pieces on the NBA side to pair together. Both of those hit. Ja Morant over 7.5 assists. He got 8. Kessler for the Jazz over 8.5 rebounds. He ended up with, I believe, 12. So very sweat-free there. I used those pieces myself on some parlays, and that was good. So let's talk about these NBA games today, and then I will give you that and NFL. So it's going to be a combined card. There's also some college basketball. I'm going to be looking through that. I'll be posting those plays in my Discord. The link is down below to join. It is absolutely free. The Discord has had my card for about 30 minutes-ish, maybe a little bit more now. So some of these lines have probably moved by the time you guys see them. All right, first game on the card, Pelicans and the Hawks. Pelicans looked terrible. I mean, the Knicks absolutely blew them out. Karl Anthony Towns, I almost pulled the trigger on his rebounds yesterday, and I'm kicking myself in the ass. He hit that in the first half. He had 12 at halftime. So that's a little disappointing not to pull that. I had it on the card and took it off. Anyway, Hawks -9.5. Pelicans are still devastated by injuries. The same guys that were out yesterday are planned to be out today. So Alvarado, Hawkins, Ingram, Herb Jones, Zion Williams, they're all out. So no reason not to take Atlanta. Trae Young is a game time decision, highly expected to play. Bogdanovich is back, so expected to be in the lineup. That's about it. So Atlanta -9.5. This 229.5 is kind of low for Atlanta, but I'm okay taking Atlanta -9.5 in this spot. All right, Miami Heat and the Celtics. Boston -9.5 in this spot. I mean, Miami looked pretty good yesterday, but Boston -9.5. I don't want to touch a Boston -9.5. I think the over-under is appropriately placed. This is a fade spot for me. Heat coming off of back-to-back. But they looked pretty good yesterday. Again, Bam Adebayo was another one. I wanted to take his over in rebounds, and he had like 8 or 9. He almost hit it in the first half as well. So annoying. Left profit on the table, man. All right, fade for me. Nets and the Bulls. So this is kind of a tale of 2 teams here. So the Nets play at one of the slowest pace in the league. The Bulls play at one of the quickest. We've got Chicago -7.5. You got a Brooklyn Nets team that is decimated by injuries. I mean, decimated. Dorian Finney-Smith is a game-time decision. Johnson, game-time decision. Sharp, game-time decision. Ben Simmons, game-time decision. Williams, game-time decision. Bogdanovich out. Clowney out. Martin out. Cam Thomas out. Chicago -7.5. That's the only way I see this going down. So Chicago -7.5 or the under 233.5. I think this over-under is really, really high for Brooklyn. Typically, we see something in the 208 to 215 range for Nets game. So this is a little high in my opinion. So I would lean towards this under 233.5 for this game. Last game on the card, Lakers and the T-Wolves. Lakers look pretty good yesterday. They're playing again on the road. I mean, fade the Lakers on the road. It's a pretty easy strategy. That said, 7.5 is a little too rich for my blood, and I think the over-under is appropriately placed. So this is another one I would fade. Maybe do what I will play today is going to be a bit of a teaser. So I'll take the Minnesota game and take that down to maybe 3, and I'll take the Bulls game and pare that down as well. Might go probably like 4 on that game. So mix and match those, or you could throw in the Hawks. I mean, I think there's only really, I mean, the over-unders are just not good. Like I said, kind of a blah day. If you're going to do it, you're going to have to mix and match and get a little creative in order to find some value today on that. But let's get into our card here and get you guys on your way. So first play of the day is going to be Clint Capella over 9.5 rebounds at plus 100. Now, 8 of the last 10 centers have gone over this line versus the Pelicans. My only fear is a blowout, which is highly, highly likely. But like I said, Karl Towns hit his line by halftime. So no reason Capella couldn't do the same. Pelicans are 25th in rebounds allowed to the center position. And when we look up when the Hawks have won by 10 or by 15 or more, Capella's hit rate actually goes up. So that gives me a little more confidence. Next play is going to be Mike Conley for the T-Wolves under 5.5 assists. He's under this in 7 of the last 10. And he's only hit this in 7 of 13 versus the Lakers. So I don't have a lot of faith. This has been a pretty good spot to fade him all year. It's been highly profitable. So this is more of a system play. Anytime this gets up to 5.5, I will take the under. Nick Claxton for the Nets under 16.5 points plus assists. He's under this line in 10 straight games. He's only hit this in 2 of his last 20. So very much a system play. I know he's playing the Bulls. They're a little weak to the center. This is just too big of a line, though. Julius Randle over 6.5 rebounds. 7 of the last 10 power forwards have hit this line versus the Lakers. Lakers just give up rebounds like it's going out of style. Almost put the Rudy Gobert over 11.5 rebounds on here. Probably one I'm going to regret not doing. But the lines are just weird. The way the books see it kind of weirded me out a little bit taking that. Next one's going to be DeJounte Murray. Plus money play, over 11.5 rebounds plus assists at plus 110. So many injuries. I mean, they are going to be devastated by injuries. He's going to play at least 33 minutes tonight. He had 8 rebounds and 5 assists and an absolute blowout to the Knicks yesterday. I thought about sprinkling a triple-double on him, too. You could probably get really good value sprinkling a triple-double. Will it hit? Probably not, but might be worth a sprinkle here. Going up against his old team, I do think that matters. So I like him tonight. Nick Claxton, again, we're coming back to him. Under 13.5 rebounds plus assist. He is under this line in 9 of his last 10 games. This is just high due to injuries, but there's a lot of game-time decisions on there. They've got, 5 players that are game-time decisions. Unlikely all 5, some of them are going to play. So hopefully it's a center. And I just hate this spot for him. So if Ben Simmons plays, that's great. He will come in for him or wherever. He's kind of a jack of all trades. But Nick Claxton's going to have to prove he can hit this line. He's not an assist guy. So almost has to get 13 assists or 13 rebounds to hit this line, in my opinion. All right. Those are our NBA plays. Let's talk a little bit about our NFL game tonight. It's going to be the Browns traveling to Denver to play the Broncos. Surprisingly great weather in Denver. I mean, it's supposed to be almost 50 at game time, I believe. So projecting great weather, low winds, should be great for scoring, to be honest. So I just can't find an angle on the Cleveland side. Maybe Nick Chubb over rushing, but I just have no confidence in him whatsoever. He's been a little bit of a shell of himself since he's came back from that pretty nasty injury. First play I like, I gave this out yesterday. The line's already moved. It's Bo Nix over 220.5 passing yards. Cleveland 17th in passing yards allowed to the quarterback position. Bo Nix does a great job slinging it there in Denver. Javonte Williams over 2.5 receptions. Now he's under this in 3 of his last 4, but if we look at the game script here, they're going to put pressure on Nix. Myles Garrett and those guys should be able to get through that line. He's going to have to dump it down. So I like Javonte Williams to be that safety net there and get us the 3 receptions that we need. Devon Vele over 34.5 receiving yards. I also looked at Cortland Sutton. I think you can go with both. I didn't put both on here. I went with Devon just because he's over this in 3 straight, but Sutton's over as well. So they're having really good success there. But we've seen him go higher and higher each week. He had 39, 66, and then 80 in their last game. Cleveland, 25th in receiving yards allowed to the wide receiver position. So just another angle for our Bo Nix play as well. And then we've got Jaleel McLaughlin over 19.5 rush yards. I'm projecting we get 26 tonight. Cleveland does do a good job in terms of rushing yards. They allow the 9th fewest in the league in terms of that. Almost put Javonte Williams under rushing yards on here, but sometimes he can break some of those nice plays through the middle, so I'm a little hesitant to take an under there. But ended up going with Jaleel's over. I mean, I could see this potentially being a blowout. I have zero faith in Winston. So one of the things that guy does is throw picks, and Denver loves to get picks. So I definitely foresee one in his future, which leads me to my other pick, which is going to be the Broncos -6. Let's see if we can bang that out of the park. I think the Broncos roll at home here. All right, a couple of filler pieces. We'll call them the parlay dance partners. I've got 2 NFL and 1 NBA today that I like. First one's going to be Bogdan Bogdanovic over 2.5 rebounds at -146 on FanDuel. Next one is going to be Little Jordan Humphrey. That's the actual name, Little Jordan Humphrey, over 1.5 receptions. This is 2.5 on almost every book, but it's still 1.5 on FanDuel. That's at -146. He has hit this in 5 straight games. And then the last one's going to be Cortland Sutton over 4.5 receptions. This is 5.5 on every book. It will be 5.5 on FanDuel as well, but it's currently sitting at 4.5 at a very heavily juiced -184. Now, another play I like, this will go down, is going to be Jameis Winston over. It's 2.5 rushing attempts right now. That is way too high. It's so high on the books, they're going to have to drop it down to 1.5. When they drop it down to 1.5, it might be a good avenue to take. I do think he's going to have to scramble at least twice during this game. So if that does drop down to 1.5, highly likely I will bang that. So those are my picks and plays for today, guys. Give the video a thumbs up, comment down below, join the Discord if you want some college basketball plays today. And I'll be posting a few parlays in there today. So I will catch you guys in the next video.